Welcome back to Davening with Meaning. Today we are in our sixth class and we're going to be talking about the bracha of Tzitzit. The mitzvah of Tzitzit is a mitzvah that is a time-bound mitzvah. Therefore, only men are obligated to do the mitzvah of Tzitzit. And it's time-bound because Chazal came to the understanding that it's a mitzvah for the daytime. And the Hagdara and the Halacha, the way the Halacha frames it, is only once I'm able to see my friend in less than 2 meters away, or I'm able to see that the white strings are white and the blue strings are blue, the tchelet is blue, then I'm able to make the bracha, meaning it's a daytime mitzvah. Now, tzitzis and tefillin are two very different types of mitzvah, because tefillin is an active mitzvah that I have to make sure every single day, except for Shabbos and Yom Tov, I'm supposed to make sure that I put on tefillin, at least until Shkia. Tzitzis is different. I don't have to make sure I put on tzitzis every day. I don't need to wear tzitzis every day. I do need to put tzitzit on a beged, on a piece of clothing that has 4 corners. If my piece of clothing has 4 corners, I'm obligated to put on the strings of the tzitzit and tie it. There's a lot of different minhagim of how you tie it, and that is the mitzvah of tzitzit. And once I have a beged, a piece of clothing with 4 corners, I'm obligated to put the tzitzit on and put it on. So the question is, why are we so makpid on putting on tzitzit? Because we are not friaring, meaning if we see an opportunity to do a mitzvah, and it's not only a mitzvah, it's a mitzvah that reminds us of Hashem's existence in our world. Right behind me I have this picture of the sky. The sky is blue. When we put on the tzitzit and we see the tchelet, it reminds us of the shamayim, it reminds us of kiseh kavod, it reminds us of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Torah and the mitzvah that we have to keep every single day. And another reason is because I want to be wrapped in a mitzvah every single day. Think about that. We're wrapping ourselves in the mitzvah of tzitzit. What a schut. There's another type of wrapping ourselves in the mitzvah. Rav Kook talks about this on Sukkot. On Sukkot, we're also wrapped in the mitzvah. We go into the sukkah and we sleep there, we eat there, we learn our Torah there, we do everything there in the sukkah. So we're double wrapped because we're also wrapped in tzitzit and we're also wrapped in the sukkah. And Rav Kook said there's even a triple wrap. If you're in Eretz Yisrael, you are doing the mitzvah of Yeshuv Eretz Yisrael. So imagine on Sukkot, in Israel, with the tzitzis on, you have the tzitzis, you have the sukkah, and you have Eretz Yisrael, and it completes you, and we're totally wrapped with a lot of mitzvot, and that's a very, very, very big schut. Now, we know that many people wear tzitzit today with no tchelet, even though the Torah says that we need to put on a ptil tchelet. So, a few thousand years ago, the Jews were sent out to exile. And the masoret, the minhag of how do we make tchelet, where do we get it from, it was kind of lost. Not where do we get it, but the capability to actually make the tchelet was lost. We weren't able to do it when we were out in exile. Baruch Hashem, Chasdei Shamayim, Am Yisrael, we're part of the Geulah, we came back to the land of Israel, we have our state here, and we're able to go back and make the tchelet again. So today there's a lot of different factors, a lot of different people that make tchelet, but we were able to make it from the chilazon, from the sea, that gives us the color, the beautiful color of the tchelet that reminds us of Shamayim. So we put on 1 ptil tchelet on our tzitzit, and we look at it before we put it on, making sure that all the strings are tied, everything's good, we're set to go, and then we make the bracha, and we put it on. And then we remember that we're wrapped with this huge mitzvah. And being that we spoke about the mitzvah of tzitzit, we'll talk also about the mitzvah of the talit. The mitzvah, the bracha of the talit is a little different. It's Baruch Hashem Cholam, Asher Kideshan Mitzvah B'Tzivanu Litatef B'Tzitzit, meaning that we're wrapping ourselves in tzitzit. Usually we only wear a talit when we daven. Usually it's only when we daven shacharit. Sometimes in some shuls, a chazan that's davening mincha and marv also puts on a talit. But that is it's a beged, it's a clothing that we put on specifically for prayer, for davening, or for moadim kedushim. Some people wear a talit at their wedding, under the chuppah. So there's different times that we put on a talit, but it's to remember that this beged, this piece of clothing, is unique, it's special for prayer, but the tzitzit we're able to, and we should wear throughout the day. Tzitzit is a tashmish mitzvah. It's not a tashmish kodesh, it's not a tashmish kedusha. Tashmish kedusha, a good example for that would be tefillin, maybe even a Sefer Torah, and that we're, for example, not allowed to bring into the bathroom. If you're wearing tzitzit and you go into the bathroom, that's okay. You just have to make sure that that you keep it clean and it's okay. But it's a mitzvah. It's not tashmish kodesh. There is an interesting custom that when you go into a cemetery, you tuck your tzitzit in, not to have it showing, because when it's showing, it's loeg larash. It's as if we're making fun of the dead people, that they're not able to fulfill the mitzvot, and that's definitely not something that we want to do when we're wearing tzitzit. Is not to make fun of anybody, God forbid, or anything like that. So it's a beautiful mitzvah. It's very unique that Dafka in this generation, when Am Yisrael came back to the land of Israel throughout the war, we saw a lot of youngsters putting on tzitzit. And they say that this is what connects them to Torah, to mitzvot, to the traditions of Am Yisrael. And it's very, very common today to walk in the street. You see a lot of people, they're not wearing kippah, but they are wearing tzitzit. You'll see tzitzit coming out of their shirt, and it's really, really amazing, because that's a beged that Am Yisrael has been wearing for thousands of years, and Bezrat Hashem, for thousands of years to come. Have a wonderful day.